Kung Fu Panda 4 is the fourth film of the Kung Fu Panda series. Now, I didn't even know this movie existed until about 2 months ago. A lot of weird people online on social media like to make photoshopped posters of fan movies they'd like to see. So when I saw this, I didn't believe it until I checked IMDb to make sure, and it did exist. This movie, it's been a while since Kung Fu Panda 3, but anyways, this film is a continuing adventures. Po is still the Dragon Warrior. He has become more of a celebrity, and he occasionally gets into fighting for the Valley of Peace. However, Master Shifu says he needs to pass on the mantle to a successor so that he can become Master Oogway's position, a sort of spiritual leader, to evolve and become give wisdom to the valley instead. And Po doesn't want to. He likes to kick butt and sort of just revel in his celebrity status. However, Tai Lung is back. He has attacked a mine, and now Po must travel there. However, he bumps into a wily fox thief named Zen, and he stops her from stealing from the Jade Palace, and they team up in order to stop the chameleon, which is a sorceress villain of the film. Now, this movie was enjoyable. It had some jokes that make me laugh. Animation's fine. There's some colorful set pieces and fight scenes. It's a very simple A to B movie, and that's fine in general, but for Kung Fu Panda, I wanted more. You know, the first two films have amazing set pieces and tone. Third film, I don't like at all. This fourth film is better than the third film, but just barely. This movie just feels really low effort. The Furious Five aren't in this movie except for one small cameo. Dustin Hoffman's Shifu barely in the film as well. There's a lot of humor that doesn't work. The movie seems to be in a rush. It keeps trying to go from A to B, quick, you know, get to the next, you know, set piece, get to the next fight scene. They introduce a subplot with Po's two fathers trying to follow him to keep him safe. And it offered a chuckle here or there, but kind of superfluous. But I think the main gripe is the power scaling. The movie has the same problem as 3, in which first off, the movie's like a pastiche of the second and third film. The villain, the chameleon, is a sorceress who has her thumb on cities' crime lords, and she can shapeshift into larger warriors and intimidate. But she's basically a copy of Lord Shen, to be honest, and there's no personal tie to Po's past, so it feels kind of like a reused villain. She even has her own army of one type of soldier in an army. Like Lord Shen, he had jackals. The chameleon has Komodo dragons. So they're just a very generic one type of villain for Po to fight, or whoever's fighting. And also the whole power stealing thing, like Kai with Chi in Kung Fu Panda 3 is used again. So it's basically the same plot as the third movie. And the third movie, the reason why I disliked it is because Kai uses their Chi, and he creates these jade statue versions of the masters, and a bunch of civilian pandas are able to defeat all of them, or at least distract them. And it really made the masters seem like really weak because they can be defeated just by... It's the equivalent of like a whole bunch of kids stopping UFC fighters by tripping them with skipping ropes or something like that. The fourth movie does the same thing. The chameleon wants to steal the powers of warriors from the spirit world, or, you know, so all these dead past villains. So at the end of the film, the chameleon is able to grab many powers and become this unstoppable creature, but Po defeats her rather easily, and it's kind of... They should have maybe slowed down how many powers she got, because she takes some powers and then, you know, literally, like, as a character's walking away, we hear her saying the names of all these different people that she wants to steal powers from. They should have, like, maybe Po should have interrupted her after about 3 or 4. We get to see some cool powers we haven't seen before, but the movie just isn't interested in that. It's really like, you know, she gets powers, they fight, he wins, the end. It's very simple, simplistic in terms of plot and execution. I didn't like that. So the movie's still enjoyable. I liked it overall. I liked the character of Zen the most. She's played by Awkwafina, a sort of protege for Po to teach, and sidekick, you know, something that Awkwafina is really good at doing. So she's in her wheelhouse, and the story is pretty weak, and so is the villain. So even though Viola Davis does a great job with the voice acting, the villain's just a mix of Lord Shen and Kai. So the movie should have tried to more organically put in the Furious Five, or should have tried to come up with a better way to use Shifu, or come up with more set pieces or a more epic tone, because the stakes are rather low this time. So I give Kung Fu Panda 4 a 7 out of 10.